Stop what you are doing. Do not scroll past this. Do not multitask. Do not treat this as background noise. This is not a coincidence. This is not an algorithmic suggestion. This is a divine appointment scheduled before you ever pressed play. You were summoned. The gavel has already fallen. The trial concerning your provision is no longer in deliberation. A ruling has been issued, and you are being notified in real time. The court is in session no longer because the case is closed. Heaven's records have been opened. Psalm 56:8 declares that every tear has been documented. Documentation is evidence. Evidence demands judgment, and judgment has been rendered. Do not skip this prayer, because skipping it would be like walking out of the courtroom before signing for your settlement. Now listen carefully. If you are here, it is because you have felt the pressure. Sleepless nights, numbers that do not add up, bills that arrive faster than income, a constant sense that no matter how hard you work, something invisible keeps delaying the release. You have replayed conversations in your mind. You have wondered if you missed God. You have questioned whether the delay was discipline, punishment, or failure. That confusion ends now. The record shows you have been faithful. The record shows you did not quit. The record shows endurance under strain. Galatians 6:9 is entered into evidence. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap if you do not give up. A reaping has a timestamp. Proper time is not vague. It is scheduled, and that schedule has arrived. What you have been experiencing was not denial. It was not God withholding. It was a stay of execution while heaven assembled a complete case. Because what is being released to you is not a trickle. It is not assistance. It is restitution. Now the culprit must be named. John 10:10 establishes jurisdiction. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Theft requires intent. Intent requires prosecution. The enemy did not just inconvenience you. He interfered. He siphoned time. He manipulated systems. He weaponized delay to make you doubt your standing. But Proverbs 6:31 is clear legal code. When the thief is caught, he must repay sevenfold. Must is not optional. Sevenfold is not symbolic. It is punitive damages. You were not irresponsible. You were targeted. You were not behind. You were resisted. You were not forgotten. You were contested, and the contest is over. This very second enforcement has begun. Angels have been dispatched with warrants. Financial blockages are being evicted. Unauthorized access to your resources is being revoked. Job 36:11 declares, "If they obey and serve him, they shall spend their days in prosperity and their years in pleasures." Years, not moments. Years are being restored. Time restitution is now active. God does not just replace money. He repays years. Years of under-earning. Years of misalignment. Years where you were qualified but overlooked. Joel 2:25 has been cited and upheld. "I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten." Restoration of years requires acceleration. Expect speed. Within the next 72 hours, something will shift. Within the next 3 days, a conversation will change tone. Within the next 24 hours, clarity will replace confusion. This is not motivational language. This is procedural. The natural realm says recession. The court of heaven says exemption. Psalm 37:19 states, "In the days of famine they shall be satisfied." That is a clause of protection. You are not subject to the same outcomes as those without covenant. Your provision is not tied to the economy. Your supply is not tied to employers. Your source is not fragile. Psalm 24:1 establishes ownership. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it. If everything belongs to Him, lack is a logistics issue, not a resource issue, and logistics have now been corrected. Now hear this with precision. The money coming to you is not just for comfort, it is for assignment. Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives power to get wealth to establish covenant. Wealth is a weapon. It funds righteousness. It rescues others. It builds what fear could not destroy. You are being repositioned as a kingdom financier. This is why resistance increased before release. This is why the pressure intensified right before breakthrough. The enemy contests what threatens his systems, but double jeopardy applies. He cannot retry a case that has already been decided. The verdict stands. Now a warning wrapped in mercy: when provision is released, distraction will attempt entry. Sudden fatigue, random arguments, unnecessary expenses. These are interception tactics. But you are now aware. Awareness is defense. Now we execute the transactional ritual. This is the moment where agreement activates transfer. Heaven moves on alignment. Say this aloud if you can. If you cannot agree fully in your spirit, agreement is legally binding. By the authority of the Most High God, I acknowledge the verdict rendered on my behalf. I reject delay, lack, and confusion. I receive provision without sorrow. I receive sevenfold restitution. For every stolen resource, I receive restored time, restored opportunities, restored momentum. I declare my finances aligned with heaven's order. I declare overflow with purpose. I declare wealth for kingdom assignment. This settlement is sealed. This release is protected. This cycle is closed. It is done. Now seal the verdict. Type "I receive my settlement" in the comments. Not for visibility, not for engagement. This is a signature. Heaven honors declaration. Words establish jurisdiction. And station yourself properly. Subscribe not as a follower, but as alignment. This is a remnant community. Winners think alike. Protection flows through connection. One final instruction. Guard your speech for the next 3 days. Do not rehearse old shortages. Do not narrate past losses. Let results speak. Silence preserves momentum. Now receive this closing prayer. Father, Judge of all the earth, we thank you that you do right. We thank you that every accusation has been dismissed. We thank you that provision is released now. Let angels execute this verdict swiftly. Let confusion dissolve. Let unexpected doors open. Let resources locate this listener with precision. Protect the harvest, multiply the seed, and establish your covenant through their increase. The case is closed. The provision is released. Remain expectant. Remain aligned. Stay with me. Do not disengage now. What is unfolding is still active. When a verdict is issued, there is always a transfer phase. Courts do not just declare, they enforce. Enforcement is where resistance often attempts one final appeal. That appeal has no standing. Romans 8:33 is entered into the record. Who shall bring a charge against God's elect? It is God who justifies. The case cannot be reopened. The opposition has been silenced. Right now, in the unseen realm, accounts are being reconciled. Ledgers are being corrected. Access codes are changing. Isaiah 45:3 declares, I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Hidden means previously inaccessible. Secret places require authorization. Authorization has been granted. Some of you will experience this as sudden favor, others as debt relief, others as an unexpected opportunity that looks ordinary but carries uncommon return. Do not despise the method. Focus on the movement. Boom. Within the next 24 hours, you will notice a shift in your thinking. Anxiety will loosen its grip. That is not emotional relief. That is spiritual confirmation. Peace is a legal witness. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of God rule." Rule is a judicial term. Peace presides when heaven is in control. Now hear this clearly. Delay has expired. Habakkuk 2:3 is precise. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay. That verse sounds paradoxical until you understand timing. What looked like delay was alignment, and now alignment has produced arrival. You are not entering a season of survival. You are entering a season of explanation where people will ask how it happened. Psalm 23:5 is about to become visible. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Public vindication is part of the package, not for pride, for proof. Those who doubted your discipline will witness your increase. Those who benefited from your loss will watch your restoration. This is not revenge. This is order being restored. Now a second declaration, because some things require double witness. Say this with authority: I renounce financial fear. I renounce scarcity thinking. I renounce agreements with lack. I align my income, investments, and decisions with divine wisdom. I receive strategies, not just supply. I receive discipline with abundance. I receive clarity with increase. I steward this release well. Excellent. Understand this stewardship activates sustainability. Luke 16:10 establishes the standard: faithfulness in little qualifies for much. What is coming will require wisdom, and wisdom is being supplied alongside provision. Some of you will feel prompted to resolve an old obligation. Do it quickly. Speed signals trustworthiness. Others will be prompted to sow carefully, strategically, without pressure. Obedience is not emotional, it is precise. Now I must warn you again, because love warns. Once provision manifests, distraction will attempt to attach itself to celebration. Guard your focus. Do not announce prematurely. Nehemiah rebuilt walls while enemies mocked. Silence finished the work. If you feel led, move to the next message linked after this one. Not out of fear, but out of protection. Harvest attracts attention. Wisdom preserves increase. Now we finalize. Father, we acknowledge your rulings are just. We thank you that the storehouses are open. We thank you that provision is moving now swiftly, cleanly, completely. Let there be no leakage. Let there be no confusion. Let every resource arrive at the right time and in the right measure. Establish this listener as a lender and not a borrower, above and not beneath, a conduit of blessing, a witness of your faithfulness, by your word, by your authority, by your covenant. This release is finalized. This settlement is secured. This season has shifted. Remain expectant. Remain obedient. Remain grateful. And remember, the court has ruled in your favor. Do not rush away yet. The courtroom is quiet for a reason. Silence follows authority. What happens next is not noise. It is movement. When a verdict is finalized, there is a seal placed on the document. Revelation 5 speaks of sealed scrolls that only the authorized can open. This is important, because what is being released to you is not casual provision. It is classified. It requires maturity to carry. Right now, in the next few hours, some of you will receive communication. a message, a call, an email. Others will receive an idea so precise it feels intrusive. That is not imagination. That is instruction. Ecclesiastes 11:1 says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." But for you, the days have been compressed. Time is accelerating. This is where many fail, not because they are unworthy, but because they hesitate. Delay obedience and momentum slows. When heaven moves quickly, respond cleanly. Hear this clearly. The enemy cannot stop the transfer, but he will attempt to tax it with fear. Fear of loss. Fear of mismanagement. Fear of visibility. That fear has no jurisdiction. 2 Timothy 1:7 is entered into evidence God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Sound mind means stable decisions under pressure. You are not about to mishandle this. Wisdom is accompanying wealth. Some of you have been mourning time more than money. Years that felt wasted. Opportunities that seemed stolen. Joel 2:25 stands as binding precedent. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Notice it does not say replace. It says restore. Restoration compresses time. You will recover in months what took others decades. This is why the opposition fought you so hard at the delay stage. They knew acceleration was coming. Now listen carefully. Wealth in your hands is not a reward. It is an assignment. Deuteronomy 8:18 clarifies jurisdiction. It is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Power to get wealth means systems, insight, positioning. This is not luck. This is authorization. You are being positioned as a kingdom financier, one who funds solutions, one who builds stability where chaos once ruled, one who becomes evidence that obedience outlives opposition. And yes, your enemies will see it. Psalm 37:34 states, "When the wicked are cut off, you shall see it." Seeing is part of their consequence. But you will not gloat. You will move forward. Now one final action to seal this. Type the words, "I receive my settlement," not as a comment for visibility, but as a signature. Courts require acknowledgement. This is yours. And if you are led, subscribe not for content, but for positioning. Alignment matters. Community reinforces consistency. Isolation weakens stewardship. Finally, I speak covering. No premature loss. No counterfeit opportunities. No unnecessary drains. No confusion disguised as urgency. Only clarity. Only precision. Only sustained increase. Within the next 24 hours, expect confirmation. Within 72 hours, expect movement. Within this season, expect overflow with responsibility. The verdict is not pending. It is not delayed. It is not under review. It is final. Remain steady. Remain grateful. Remain ready. The court is adjourned. Stay with me. This is the sealing prayer. Do not multitask. This is not background sound. This is a legal moment. Right now, lift your agreement, not emotion. Agreement. Father God, Judge of all the earth, we enter your courtroom under Hebrews 12:22, where it is written that we have come to Mount Zion, to the city of the living God, and to God, the judge of all. We acknowledge your jurisdiction. We acknowledge your authority. We acknowledge that no lower court can overturn what you decree. We present the case of this listener. The evidence is complete. The losses are documented. Psalm 56:8 is entered into record. You have kept count of their tossings. You have put their tears in your bottle. Nothing was missed. Nothing was forgotten. Every sleepless night, every unpaid bill, every delayed promise, every betrayal that cost them financially. All of it is on file. We identify the thief. John 10:10 establishes motive and pattern. The enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy. Therefore, guilt is dismissed from the defendant. Shame is struck from the record. Self-blame is declared inadmissible. Now we enforce the law. Proverbs 6:31 stands as binding statute. When the thief is found, he must restore sevenfold, even if he must give all the substance of his house. We do not ask, we enforce. We do not hope, we execute. By divine warrant, we authorize sevenfold restitution, not partial, not symbolic, full measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Luke 6:38 is cited as enforcement mechanism. We command every delayed payment to locate them, every misdirected resource to reverse course, every opportunity that was blocked to reopen with favor. We declare summary judgment against lack. We issue an eviction notice to debt. We cancel the assignment of scarcity. Double jeopardy applies. What was already stolen cannot be taken again. We speak to time now. Joel 2:25 is activated. Lost years are restored. Momentum is accelerated. What required 10 steps now requires 2. What required years now manifests in months. What required struggle now flows with ease. We consecrate this provision. It will not corrupt. It will not isolate. It will not inflate pride. It will build. It will stabilize. It will fund solutions. It will establish covenant. Deuteronomy 8:18 is enforced. We place a hedge. No counterfeit deals. No predatory partnerships. No emotional spending. No silent leaks. Wisdom is assigned. Discernment is heightened. Peace governs decisions. And we decree public vindication. Psalm 23:5 is upheld. A table is prepared in the presence of enemies, not for boasting, but for evidence. Let it be known that you restore openly what was stolen secretly. Now, listener, if you agree, say this quietly or aloud. I accept the verdict. I receive my settlement. I steward this release with wisdom. I will not fear the increase. I am authorized. I am ready. That agreement seals it. Within the next 24 hours, watch for the first signal. Within 72 hours, expect tangible movement. This very second piece replaces pressure. One final instruction. Protection matters after release. Once provision arrives, resistance often follows, not to stop it, but to drain it. Do not be unaware. Stay aligned. Stay covered. There is a second message prepared for that moment. Do not ignore it. Remain grateful. Gratitude preserves momentum. Remain obedient. Obedience protects increase. Remain expectant. Expectation keeps channels open. The ruling stands. The release is active. The provision is authorized. This prayer is complete. The transaction is finalized. The blessing is in motion. Go forward.